Bow, chicka wow wow. What's up, party people? Thank you for joining Elevate Your Life. I am your hostess with the mostess. L is in the letter L, key as in the key to your heart. Did you happen to see my co-host over here? Here we go. Say hello, Chanel. Say hello to our audience. She's like, I just want to lay on my mama couch, okay? I don't care about the audience right now. So, welcome to Wisdom Wellness Wednesday. I am your hostess with the mostess, Elkie. All right, so you're probably wondering, what are we going to talk about today? What can she possibly... Oh, are you tired, my love? Too tired for the audience? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes she has what appears to be a little seizure when in fact it's just something gets in her eye. Come here. Where are you going? Where are you going, my love? You going to get comfortable? Okay. Well, you might be wondering, what are we going to be talking about tonight? Well, let me tell you what we're going to be talking about, folks. The do's and the don'ts of dating. Why, do you ask? Why are we on this topic of dating? I'll tell you why. Because since I started dating in 2025 and that podcast, okay, I don't know why this light keeps going out, but let's see if I can get it to work. Nope. Okay. Guess not. All right. So why are we still on the topic of dating? I'll tell you why. It's a hot topic, for one. And for two, I have had so many questions, comments, concerns, a wealth of feedback that has been submitted in. And I want to be able to answer your questions. So let's go. Let's get into it. First of all, sorry to hear about all the struggles that are going on out there in the dating world. I have been actively interviewing, and this is going to be a new thing that I'm going to be talking about more and more, because I'm running across so many people that like, oh, I have so many stories that'll turn your hair gray. And walking around school campus, as you know, I'm a special education aide for middle schoolers. So I have middle schoolers asking me dating advice, but then I also have adults in their 60s, 50s, various different ages, talking to me about their dating life. And so I want to keep it going. I want to answer your questions. I want to help you find love, or at least a consistent partner, somebody you like, somebody you want to spend time with, somebody you enjoy spending time with. So let's get into it. Okay, so one of the questions that came up today and continues to come up is like, how do I find the right person, man or woman? And if you've listened or watched to my previous episodes, you've heard the checklist that I've provided. And I don't think I've provided the link. So I'll see if I can find a way to provide the link to put that in my podcast. It is basically a dating checklist of things to look for, red flags, and things you could talk about. Last week, on Monday, I talked about, I gave you a list of things that you could ask, like icebreakers and then deal breakers. Well, a friend of mine wrote in, and he's in his 60s, and he said, I find it really hard to date at my age. And when I do find somebody, I hold on to them. And even though there's red flags, I just want to do whatever I can to keep them. So kind of that people pleaser mode, if you will. And then And then when things go sour, they end up texting me to break up, block me on every platform. It's just done, right? So no closure. So first of all, I want to talk about this. I've told you guys about this before. As you can see, this book has been in the family for years, for generations and generations. Your Inner Child of the Past by W. Hugh Missildine, MD. The world-renowned classic that shows how to solve adult problems by understanding your inner child of the past. This is a book you need to get. Because, what does it talk about? Well, let's see or listen if you recognize yourself in the descriptions below. Were your parents perfectionists? If they were, the adult you could be endlessly preoccupied with physical, intellectual, or social accomplishment. Were your parents over-submissive? If they were, then you are in turn going to be impulsive, trigger-tempered, inconsiderate of rights to others. Sorry, a light bulb just went on in my head about some people that have been talking to me. I'm like, this is making sense to me now. Were your parents overindulgent? If they were, then the adult you could be bored, unable to initiate or carry through or persist in your individual efforts. Were your parents punitive? If they were, then you, as your adult self, could be fiercely vengeful. Were your parents neglectful? If they were neglectful, then you, the adult you, could be anxious, lonely, unable to feel close to others. And then last but not least, and these are just some of the categories that I'm reading to you, ladies and gents. Were your parents sexually stimulating? If they were, your adult, you could be obsessed with physical sex and dissatisfied with personal relationships. Interesting. Food for thought, yes? So, this is the first thing I want to recommend. The other is something I talk about all the time, which is Professor Dr. Love, Professor Kyle, Dr. Kyle, as I refer to him. Kyle Few, Commitment to Love. Love is a verb. He talks about what does love mean? Not just loving your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever. It's not just talking about that. It's talking about your commitment to love and what that looks like for you and what you do in your commitment with love. Also, I say this on repeat because it's so important, is self-love. Ladies and gents, if you don't have self-love, if you haven't explored your inner child of the past, if you haven't worked on yourself, healed yourself from your childhood traumas, things you went through in childhood with your mom, your dad, your parents, if you were abused verbally, mentally, physically, whatever, we carry those into our adulthood. We carry them into our existing relationships. So these are the things that you need to learn about yourself so you can pick the right partner. So let me go back to my dear friend who asked some questions. Oh, by the way, Commitment to Love, Love is a Verb, Kyle Few, found on Audible via Amazon. Last time I checked, it was $2.99. It's well worth the $2.99, guys. I mean, if you haven't read it, if you haven't looked at it, we can all benefit from this. And it's not just a plug because Kyle is family to me. Every time I read a new page, I am enlightened about what goes into love. What are we doing over here? Sorry, my co-host is, I guess she's scratching herself. What are you doing, Chanel? Come over here and host with me. Okay, so moving right along. So those are some of the things I want to talk to you about. But also online dating, so scary. There's so many things. I'm hearing the nightmare stories about men and women. Too much, too soon is just that, okay? I understand about being eager to meet the person that you're talking to. I understand you're excited to meet this person that you're chatting with online, but we don't need to know your life story when we haven't even met. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something to say about leaving a little bit of mystery until you meet the person and date the person. Sorry, Eva is not, she is not giving me life today, ladies and gentlemen. I am all over the place. Sorry, squirrel. Anyway, the stories that I'm hearing about the women and the men that are just like, so I want to go on a date with you. Oh, you just had an injury? Oh, you have a broken limb or a sprain? No worries. I'll come over and pick you up and take you out. Oh, you have a maintenance need? I'm happy to come over. By the way, I have, just so you know, this is the kind of person I have a house, a jet, a car, a ranch, $1 million in the bank, whatever. There's no need for all of that. When you haven't even met, you have to save some of this information for when you go on your date and you share little tidbits along the way. You don't just open the whole can and dump the whole can of worms, if you will, before you've even met this person or gone out with them. Again, I know that you're anxious and you want to share yourself, and that's fine. It's okay to give a little bit here and there, but there should be something left for when, sorry, oh my God, my eye itches. You have to leave a little bit for the dates. And if you're sharing the whole cup of tea before we even meet with you and go out with you, the mystery is gone. And yeah, I'm sure you want to shoot your shot, but you should wait until you meet in person and you get a gauge for interests, likes, dislikes, hobbies. What's your favorite food? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Listen, okay. All right. I am not a counselor, nor do I play one on TV. I am not a professional. I am simply going by my experiences, my friends' experiences, the research that I do, the interviews that I do. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so for my friend who does too much too soon and becomes clingy, and highly recommend you get the books that I talked about. Highly recommend that you have the checklist so you know this person that you're dating. And whatever happened to waiting 90 days for intimacy? Whatever happened to getting to know the person before you're intimate with them? There's something to that. Trust is earned, not given. All right. So I'm going to give you some tips. 3 things. 3 things that are important to women. Attention. She needs to feel seen and heard. Put your phone down, make eye contact, and value her. Value what she has to say, look her in the eye, give her your undivided attention so that you are having a meaningful conversation and she feels like you are present. My daughter and I talk about this all the time. Shout out to Brooklyn about being present. We are in a world where our phones are glued to our hand. We cannot go anywhere or do anything without being on our phone, doom scrolling on our phone, looking at our phone, responding to a text within seconds. It's not that deep. Sometimes we need to put the phone down and be present and look, listen, engage. Okay, you got me? So that's one of the 3 things. Number 2, respect. Respect. Show her. Respect her. Respect her choices. Listen to her voice. And don't just say you respect her. Show her you respect her. It's in your actions. She will stand by the man when you respect her. Okay? And then last but not least, security. And I'm not just talking about financial security, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about women need to feel safe, okay? They need to feel safe and secure emotionally, physically, financially. That will bring out the best in her. So it's kind of like a dance, if you will. Partners lead and follow each other, right? If you are leading and following each other together, not separately, you move forward together, okay? So those are the 3 things for the ladies. For the men, like I said, too much too soon. Be interested. I talked about this last time, so I'm going to go back to my list where I was giving advice on what kind of questions that you could ask. So I talked about 50 first date questions. Of course, I didn't give you all 50. I just gave you a little tidbit, okay? Because usually this is going to lead to my audio podcast. So, hey, what are your current interests or hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? What's your favorite book, movie, or show? This is all a recap for those of you that missed last week's. What are your long-term goals? What are your short-term goals? What have you learned from your past relationship? Now, I wouldn't necessarily say this is a good one to ask on your first date, unless you're diving really deep and you're connecting on all these ways, like, oh my God, we love the same foods and the same music and we're the same age and we both have kids and married, divorced, yada, yada, yada. Okay, maybe what have you learned from your past relationship is a good question for maybe the first date, depending on how long this first date is going, depending on your age, comfortability, etc. How do you handle disagreements? That's an important one. We should all know that. And by the way, shout out to my youngsters, and I talked about this on my previous dating ones. Love languages, are you kidding me? So some of my middle schoolers, shout out to my middle schoolers. They were telling me, oh yeah, we talked about each other's love languages. What? I have to tell you, prior to me getting married, I was not so familiar with the love languages. I mean, I knew mine was words of affirmation, physical touch, then gifts, yada, yada, yada. There's like a scale, right? Like your favorite to your least favorite. Anyway, I remember going on some dates to where some men were like, I don't want to read no damn book. I don't want to hear about this. And I was like, okay, thank you, next. Because, thank you, next. Thank you, next. Sorry. Sometimes I just have to burst into song. My co-host left me, by the way. Chanel. She's watching her Chanel TV. Okay. Bring it back in, Elkie. Bring it back. Okay. So basically, you have to be open to knowing each other's love languages, because if my love language is words of affirmation and physical touch, and the other person's is acts of service, then you need to acknowledge mine and appreciate mine and honor mine, right? And I need to know yours and honor yours and come together in the middle. Yeah, I know about the whole opposites attract, but remember, opposites attract and then they repel. So, okay, friends. I'm seeing that I've been on here for 21 minutes, way too long for a video for me to post on YouTube. Fingers crossed that it will allow me to upload and you'll be able to watch, listen, like, follow, and all those good things. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to keep the algorithm going. And look out for the links below where you can subscribe or collaborate with me and become a sponsor. I would love to hear your thoughts, your questions, your concerns. Text in. There's a text option. You can literally text or put in the comments your question and I can address them with you in my next pod. I would love to have you on the show. So, shout out to Persimmon Dental. Thank you, Dr. Lamb. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you to Persimmon Dental and all their staff. They are all just amazing. Love them bunches. And they keep my teeth looking sparkling white. Yeah? No? Not really? Okay. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all of you for watching, listening. I hope that you're continuing to follow me and listen to me on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, basically all the social media podcast platforms. You can also find me on Facebook, Elkivate Your Life Podcast, Instagram, Elkivate Podcast, and shout out to my subscribers, Lisa Roberts-Curbelo, Kara Kitchell, thank you. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, guys. Jeff Pata, thank you. Namaste. And Mike Kaufman. Thank you all for watching, listening, following, subscribing. I hope you will take heed of this information. If I didn't give you all the tips and tricks, stay tuned for the next episode. I'm happy to hear what you have to say and answer your questions. I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Oh, shout out to Kara Kitchell. Love my Etsy. lovemyartist.etsy.com. Talented artists, music, videos, wedding favors, clothing, shoes. I think that's it. Ciao for now.